Have you ever stopped and wondered if what you're seeing is, what's really there? It's so easy to think of our eyes like little cameras, just recording the world as it is. But the truth? Oh, it's so much cooler than that. Your brain isn't just a camera, it's an artist. It's actively building your reality every single second. And today, we're going to pull back the curtain and see exactly how it does it.
So let's just start with that big, bold question. Is what you see really what's there? The short answer is a pretty mind-bending nope. So buckle up. We're about to take a journey not to some faraway place, but deep inside your own mind, to see how the world you experience is actually constructed from the inside out.
All right, here's our roadmap. First, we're going to look at how your brain even decides what's worth noticing in the first place. Then we'll see how it takes that information and builds something meaningful. After that, we'll dive into how it organizes all that sensory chaos and keeps our world feeling nice and stable. And for the grand finale, we're going to put your own perception to the test. Let's get into it.
Okay, our first stop is attention. And really, it's all about one thing, filtering. I mean, just think about it. Right now, you are being bombarded with information, sights, sounds, the feeling of the chair you're in. Without a filter, your brain would just be a mess of static.
So what is attention, really? Well, put simply, it's the amazing ability to zoom in and focus on one single thing while pushing everything else into the background. It's like the bouncer at the velvet rope of your mind. It decides which pieces of information get the VIP pass to come inside and be processed.
So here's a classic idea of how that works. First, everything from your senses, every sight, sound, and smell, gets dumped into a temporary holding area. Then the filter kicks in, and it's pretty simple-minded. It just looks for basic physical things, like the loudest noise or the brightest light. That one thing gets to pass through the filter, and only then does it pop into your conscious awareness. Everything else, it gets left behind.
And you've totally experienced this. Picture being at a loud party. The music's thumping, people are shouting everywhere, but somehow you can lock onto the voice of the person right in front of you. It's not that you can't hear the other noises, it's that your brain has decided they're not the main event right now. That is your attentional filter, doing its job perfectly.
So the takeaway from our first stop is simple. Attention is the powerful gatekeeper of your reality. It's absolutely essential. Without it, our minds would just be overwhelmed by the non-stop flood of information coming at us from the world.
Okay, so attention has let some information through the gate. Now what? What does the brain actually do with that information? Well, that brings us to our second stop, perception. This is where your brain stops being a bouncer and starts being an architect.
Perception is where the real magic happens. It's not just about passively feeling or seeing raw data, like light waves hitting your eye. It's the active, complex process of organizing and, this is the key part, interpreting all that sensory data to give it meaning. I love this little formula here. Sensation plus meaning equals perception.
So how's it work? Well, it starts with an object out there in the world. Let's say a car. The light bouncing off that car hits your eyeballs, creating a pattern on your retina. But here's the thing, that's just a flat, two-dimensional splash of light. The final, crucial step is your brain taking that splash of light and using all your memories and past experiences saying, oh, I know what that is, that's a car.
And here's where it gets super personal. Two people can look at the exact same thing, the same car, the same pattern of light, but have completely different perceptions. One person's brain might attach the meaning of excitement and freedom. Someone else's brain might attach danger and risk. The raw sensation is identical, but the reality they each experience is totally unique.
So let's be crystal clear. Your brain is not just a mirror passively reflecting the world. No way. It's running a full-blown construction project, actively building your reality based on raw data, your memories, and even how you're feeling at that very moment.
Okay, so if our brain is a construction manager, it must have some rules it follows, right? Some blueprints? Otherwise, the world would just look like a jumbled mess of colors and lines. And that brings us to our third stop, Gestalt principles. These are the brain's automatic rules for making sense of the chaos.
The entire idea of Gestalt psychology can be boiled down to this one famous phrase: the whole is different from the sum of its parts. And what that really means is that your brain is hardwired to see patterns and complete things. It doesn't want to see a bunch of random dots and lines, it wants to see a face, or a house, or a dog. It's a fundamental shortcut to understanding the world in an instant.
And here are just a few of those rules in action. Proximity just means our brain assumes that things that are close to each other belong together. Makes sense.
Similarity means we group things together that look like, same color, same shape, you get it. And closure is my favorite. Our brain actually fills in the blanks. It will create a whole object even if parts of it are missing because it just loves completeness. Look at the Olympic rings. This is a perfect example. You don't see a complicated mess of 9 different shapes. Your brain doesn't even hesitate. It instantly simplifies the whole thing into 5 interconnected circles. This is a core Gestalt idea called pragnans, which basically says your brain is lazy in the best way possible. It will always see things in the simplest, most coherent form. So, what's the bottom line here? Your brain comes with a built-in organizing toolkit. These Gestalt rules are always running in the background, automatically turning all that raw, chaotic sensory data into the structured, patterned world you see around you right now.
So we've seen how our brain filters, builds, and organizes our world. But what happens when the information coming in is constantly changing? How does anything stay the same? That brings us to our fourth and final stop, perceptual constancy, the secret to seeing a stable and predictable world.
Perceptual constancy is your brain's incredible ability to know that an object is the same, even when the sensory information you're getting from it is changing like crazy. It's why you perceive things as having a stable size, shape, and color, and it is absolutely vital for making sense of reality. So let's just break down how size constancy works. Imagine something moves away from you. The actual image it projects on your retina gets physically smaller, but your brain doesn't freak out. It sees all the depth cues in the environment and it goes, aha, that thing isn't actually shrinking, it's just moving farther away. Then it automatically scales up that shrinking image so that in your mind, you continue to see the object as its real stable size.
And you do this all day, every day, without even thinking about it. When your friend walks away from you down a long hallway, you don't perceive them shrinking into a little doll. Your brain just effortlessly accounts for the growing distance, maintaining a constant perception of their actual size. It's this incredible, invisible calculation happening constantly.
Really, you can just think of perceptual constancy as your brain's autocorrect. It's always working to make sure your world looks predictable and stable, and not like some kind of bizarre, shifting funhouse every time you move your head.
So our brains have all these amazing systems for filtering, organizing, and stabilizing our reality. It seems like we should be able to trust what we see completely, right? Well, this is where things get really fun. What happens when these brilliant shortcuts go wrong?
Let's do a quick experiment. Look at these 2 horizontal lines on the screen. Which one is longer, the top one or the bottom one? Take a good look and make your choice.
Okay, got your answer? If you said the bottom line looks longer, congratulations. Your perception is working exactly like a normal human's, but it's also completely wrong. The reality is, both of those lines are the exact same length. Seriously, if you have a ruler handy, you can pause and check.
So what is going on here? Why do our brains get this so wrong? Well, it all comes back to that autocorrect feature, perceptual constancy. So your brain is so used to seeing the world in 3 dimensions that it sees those little fins on the ends of the lines as depth cues. The top one looks like the far corner of a room, and the bottom one looks like the near corner of a building. Since the farther line makes the same size image on your retina, your brain helpfully scales it up, making you perceive it as being longer. It's a brilliant system being tricked by a simple 2D drawing.
So, as we wrap up, let's just quickly run through the key takeaways from our journey. 1. Attention filters your reality. 2. Perception builds your reality. 3. Gestalt principles organize your reality. 4. Constancy stabilizes your reality. And 5. Illusions show us the hidden shortcuts your brain is using to do all that work.
And that brings us to the end. But really, the exploration is just getting started, in your own mind. As you go about your day, I really want you to think about these questions. What kind of filters are shaping what you pay attention to? Can you think of a time you and a friend saw the exact same thing completely differently? And what other invisible autocorrect features might your brain be running right now? Because the biggest takeaway of all is this: the reality you experience isn't just something that's out there, it's something that's built in here. Thanks for watching.